What is good, YouTube audience? So this is a lower body workout, as you could probably tell from like the thumbnail and whatnot. And I am reintroducing squats into my regimen, and not because I think it's supposed to be a better movement, but just because I really like to do squats with a barbell. I explained in one of my last videos that I kind of just have a passion for that movement. So here I have 205 pounds on the bar. And my first set here, I'm doing them with my feet flat on the ground. I don't have my feet elevated or anything like that. And one thing for sure is that doing like a bunch of bodyweight squats has helped with my mobility and my form when it comes to, barbell squats. I used to not be able to go down as low as I do now. But in general, during this session, I was trying to find some type of like feet pattern or, feet type, some type of placement. I actually did elevate my heels. You're gonna see that later in the later two sets. I was trying to find a type of like perfect feet placement, so it wouldn't irritate my knees and I could get more tension on the quads, because when I did this first set, I didn't really feel much of my quads. And even now as I'm recording this on the same day, I still haven't really felt much of my quads. Probably because I'm used to just kind of like working them a lot, since I've done like, hundreds upon hundreds of bodyweight squats. So like my quads are really used to just like to the squat pattern in general. Another thing to mention is that when I did elevate my heels here, I did find like that my quads did burn a lot more. But again, it's like I wasn't like out of breath. I just remember like how when I first started doing barbell squats, and it was just crazy. I would have to sit down and rest for like 3 to 5 minutes, 4 minutes, things like that. But over time, especially as I introduced doing like hundreds of bodyweight squats, I was able to kind of cut that time down to like 2 minutes, a minute 30, something like that, right? Because my cardiovascular system improved, and just like my muscular endurance in general improved. Now, with this second set, I did experience some knee irritation because my feet were slightly turned out, and I did kind of have my legs a bit too wide. So I did fix that in the last set. In the last set, you're going to see in a second, I had my feet more parallel and I had them closer together. So it allowed for a more natural movement pattern, because I was kind of putting it in the same context as I would a Hindu squat. With Hindu squats, I have my feet closer and my, just my legs more parallel to each other, so I don't experience any type of like knee tension or type of twisting or anything like that. So I can kind of just move in like a straight up and down pattern. This last set here did feel like really good. It probably felt the best out of all the other sets. I did used to elevate my feet before when I did barbell squats, but that was because I didn't have the proper mobility. But now that I have proper mobility and I'm elevating my feet, I feel like I'm getting a lot more out of the movement than I did, let's say about a year ago. And so, this was pretty enjoyable. This did feel really good. Right here, my left wrist, kind of like my brachialis, it kind of started to cramp. I've experienced this before. I'm not sure if it's because of my grip or anything like that. So when I got back under the bar, I did a thumb over grip instead of my hand completely around. So now my thumb is on top. And I didn't experience any type of form of like tension or pain. So maybe that's supposed to be the way to go from now on. But it's like I just don't want the bar to accidentally fall out my hands. But I guess I'll just have to keep a more secure grip. Here, I was able to do 2 extra reps because of that. Again, these felt really good, man. These felt good. I might stick to these platforms maybe. Of course, I might want to switch out doing body weight squats and barbell squats here and there. I just stick to training every day. Daily calisthenics training. These are the hip thrusts. Here, I try to make sure to keep my back completely straight, because by keeping my back straight, especially without, using any type of weight, I get more of my lower back and my erector spinae, and that makes my hamstrings and glutes move in like a range of motion that is, maybe not like the best for them because they're not getting a full complete stretch, but I still felt a great amount of tension. And I was able to get to almost about 90 degrees. You'll probably be able to see that a bit better in a different angle for my second set. But I really did feel a good tension in my hamstrings. And it's very good to always work your hamstrings, the back of your leg. Don't just do a bunch of squats and like lunges and things like that that only work your quads and your glutes. You need to be able to try and find exercises that also work your hamstrings because your hamstrings are just as important to keep up with your knee health, to help you be athletic, right? Because your hamstrings are very explosive. Your hamstrings just keep you from like if you ever gotten a cramp in your hamstring, it's because like that muscle is underdeveloped, and your quads are doing way too much work for that muscle group, and you'll just get better like at you just get better at movements like lunges or squats by training that hamstring, because one, the hamstring will be bigger, and then hamstrings work as stabilizers, and if you have a bigger, stronger stabilizer, you'll be able to perform certain movements to a better capacity. Again, with calisthenics, it's kind of hard to find exercises for your hamstrings. So, you see here, this is a calisthenics exercise. You could just probably set up like some type of bench or chair or something like that to where it's like held down. And then, you're kind of doing hip thrust that way. Not hip thrust, back extension, sorry. And here you'll see another hamstring exercise. This is a ring leg curl, or gymnastic ring leg curl, or hamstring gymnastic ring hamstring leg curl, whatever. It's basically a leg curl with just your body weight, and so you have to kind of anchor your feet in the rings like this. I am having a little bit of issue trying to anchor my feet here, but I'm able to get it in, and I practically just curl my legs into my body. You're gonna see in a second, and this did provide a great amount of tension. Now, again, this isn't a movement that I think is for like a complete beginner. There is something called the natural leg curl, where you are holding on to the gymnastic rings and then now you're curling yourself kind of away from the gymnastic rings, of course, while still holding on to them. I think that's maybe more beginner friendly. So it's like you have to be very careful when doing that movement, because you don't want to injure yourself, right? If you go way too hard on hamstrings, then your knees are going to get all messed up and stuff like that. And of course, like, the whole point of getting your hamstrings trained is one, to increase like leg size and strength, and two, to better your knee health. So you don't want to put so much strain on them and get like some type of tear or some type of like ligament or tendon tension or strain that's going to negatively affect your movement when doing like something like a RDL or a back extension, or some type of leg curl, things like that. So basically, drop the ego and pick a lighter weight or lighter variation, because in the long run, this whole thing is for our general health, and we don't want to be pushing it so hard that we end up injuring ourselves and keeping ourselves from becoming a stronger, better version of ourselves. By the way, again, leg raises. I always do leg raises, when I do a lower body day, because there is a decompression of your spine since you are in that dead hang position. And then when you are like bringing your legs or your knees up to your torso, you're further decompressing your spine. Because again, if you know how gravity works, gravity brings everything down. So when you bring your legs up and your legs, gravity wants to make your legs go down, it kind of puts more or puts less tension on places like your spine and your lower back, because now that you're kind of rounding it when you bring your legs back up, it's being dragged down even further, making it decompress. So I remember when I didn't do leg raises after my squats or deadlifts, I would always wake up the next day with some type of like back pain or lower back tension, and it would be annoying. I felt like I couldn't move, And then, let's say the day after I do leg raises, I feel, just completely better, like as if, I didn't have that lower back tension. So I decided to put them after my lower body workouts or after my big lower body like exercises, like my squats or deadlifts, when I used to do deadlifts. And it immensely helped my lower back from just tightening up too much. And it really helps you loosen up. And then of course, like your core, bro, that's free abs right there, right? Again, like I'm pretty sure I've said this before, leg raises are like my primary exercise for a six pack, right? Because of just the complete tension. And then you are also getting work on your grip. So every time you work your grip, that's free forearms right there. That's really good. A really good health indicator as well. Having a strong grip and then having a strong core will also just help you with a lot more compound movements such as the pull up, push up, squat. Maybe some type of deadlifts if you do anything like that. And just all in all, just having a better core will also just help you function throughout life in general. Like you might be able to poop more efficiently, and I know that's like a weird way to end the video, but thank you guys for watching if you watch all the way through, and see you guys in the next one.